Hello and welcome on the Digital Doers, the podcast for e-commerce leaders. Here is a special edition dedicated to the Lengow Day, an e-commerce event held in Paris the 1st of October 2019, bringing nearly 1,000 professionals of the industry. During the event, I recorded a short interview, about 15 minutes, of keynote speakers Michael Forger for Lengow, Amy Weiner from Pinterest, Ilya Shirokov from Joom, Laura Fauduc from Alibaba France, Thomas Métivier from Cdiscount, Ted Etish from Frugo, and Albert Simpson from Facebook. Good listening to you, always without cutting and editing. Hello, Ilya. Thank you very much for coming on the Digital Doers podcast. You are the co-founder of Joom. Could you introduce yourself in a few words, please?
Okay. Well, thanks for having me here. It's wonderful weather those days in Paris, and I really enjoy this visit.
Thanks.
As to myself, I was the founder of the first Russian social network. It was a LinkedIn type of social network, a professional social network. I co-founded in 2005 and then sold to Yandex in 2007. Yandex is the largest Russian search engine and like $10+ billion public market cap.
Yeah, that's quite well known.
Yeah. Then I went to Stanford to get my MBA.
Yes.
Then I went back to Russia. I joined DST, that's a well-known investment fund. But at that time, DST mainly owned Russian assets. And they asked me to become a CEO of Odnoklassniki, which was at that time and still is, a large internet company, but it was on a decline. And they needed to make an IPO of what later became Mail.ru Group. So I became the CEO of Odnoklassniki. Actually converted it from the classmates database into the social network, introduced newsfeed, music, video, groups, and all other social networking features. And it became the second largest social network in Russia. And actually, if you take it as a separate company, that would be the second largest internet company by net income or EBITDA. So when I left, the EBITDA was around $250 million.
So you are a social network expert somewhere.
It's kind of for all my career, I've been building social networks.
Okay.
But then I wanted to create something on the international scale. It was not interesting to do anything in Russia. That would be kind of a redo of my experience. We've got interested in mobile e-commerce, and we looked at what's happening in China, which I believe is the most advanced e-commerce market in the world, and how it's very different. The user experience in the apps like Taobao, how it's very different from what we have here in the Western world. I thought that it's interesting. And
it's a combination between marketplace and social network.
Yeah, it's a combination between everything is social. So you log in and obviously you see a news feed with products, but then you see parts with video, with online videos that you can go and ask questions and
it's really interactive.
Yes, it's very interactive. Then you can log in, you can see the shops that you are following, and they are introducing new collections again in some interactive way. Sometimes it's just photos, sometimes it's videos. It's just much more interactive than the traditional e-commerce websites in Europe or in the US, and it's very different in this experience. So,
based on this experience you had in China, when you discover how they do and they handle e-commerce in China, you had an idea to create something similar in Europe?
So I've got I thought that the same experience will be very good received in the Western world as well. It's just much more enjoyable shopping than just go to search, type whatever you want, and that's it. That's how we started. We started first with Chinese merchants because
3 years ago.
yeah, exactly 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Because they know how to ship their products everywhere in the world. Then we became quite big first in Russia, then in Europe, and right now Europe is our number one market. Then we started adding merchants from other countries, Korea, Japan, Turkey, and then we started onboarding merchants from local countries. So France became...
Stop 1 second. How did you build up this business around the world, or mainly in Europe and in Russia, in only 3 years? How did you do that? You are the people working for you already, the finance. How did you do that?
No, we didn't have it. Well, we had this very small team in the beginning, like 7 people, mainly engineers. So I was the only business people in the team. Actually, there were 2 business persons on the team. I don't know. So there is nothing special. We just worked hard.
You traveled to China, asking to the manufacturers in China if they can work with you, and you started in Russia with a small team.
Yeah. So basically, we started building product in Russia with the Russian development team. Then I, basically found somebody who speaks Chinese, and we flew to China and started meeting with Russian merchants, manufacturers, and so on. And asking them to join our platform. And that's how it started. And then we started buying advertising in different countries and see where customers receive our product better, where they receive it not so well, and so on. So yeah, that's how it all started.
So you had the success first in Russia, and then I know that you have big expectations for Joom. So after 12 or 18 months, you decided to go cross-border or something like that. Explain us.
So it was from the very first day, it was a cross-border. It was Chinese merchants selling products to different countries. We started with Russia because, for one simple reason, you need to start with something small. And obviously,
Russia is small, of course.
No, it is small in a sense that when you work with other countries, you need to deal with different languages, with customer support and different.
You need to localize your business.
And you need to localize. Then you need to work with local logistics. Then you need to deal with local payments. So it is a lot of work. You cannot start everywhere. So we started with Russia as the first country, and then we started slowly rolling it out to other countries. But every launch in a new country, you need to figure out what to do with logistics, with customer support, with payments, with...
So give us an example. How did you manage that in France?
In France, we integrated with, first of all, on payment side, we integrated with PSPs that accept payments in France. We integrated with PayPal, which is not very big, but which is quite big here in France. Second, we obviously hired people who can handle the customer support in French language.
So based in France?
No, they're based not in France. They're based in one of the French colonies. I don't remember which one exactly.
Okay, in Madagascar perhaps, or something like that?
Something like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have 500 people working for us in customer support, and they're spread out in maybe 4 continents actually.
Okay.
And speaking 20 different languages, so I don't remember exactly.
Of course, I understand. No problem about that. And what about the logistics?
So the logistics, initially we integrated with Calissimo and Poste de France. Then we started our own logistical company, Joom Logistics, that right now has 7 or 8 warehouses in China already. And we are the first cross-border marketplace that is doing 100% consolidation, meaning that if you have orders from different merchants, they will arrive to our warehouse in Shenzhen and will be repackaged into one parcel.
Okay.
And we do all this.
And you send that by flight, by boat?
Yeah, no, not by boat. We have different channels to different countries, and in every country there are different channels for different type of goods, like certain goods, like goods with batteries. They call dangerous goods in the terminology of air cargo. You can send only with specific airplanes, cargo airplanes. Some of the goods you can put in they call it belly cargo. That's basically in the passenger airplane, but they're very strict with what kind of goods you can put in there. And so what we do, we book all this cargo space by ourselves to different countries, and to every country we have at least several routes. And then it arrives, and we integrate with local logistics. In France, if I'm not mistaken, it's Calissimo, Poste de France, DHL, and something else.
Okay, so you use their own warehouses. So you send.
It's a last mile, yes. Basically, so they distribute it on the last mile.
Okay, and if I order now today something on Joom, I will receive my parcel in
within 10. Normally, the average will be 10 days.
10 days.
So we are working hard right now to make a guaranteed delivery, because right now, since it might be a little bit more, a little bit less, but we are working very hard to make it very predictable, so that we can guarantee that you receive it by a certain time. And I hope that soon we will be able to announce how exactly we do it. But this is a hard job.
Okay, that's a big challenge for you, I guess. Okay, so in France, you told me before we registered this interview that you also work with French brands. That's really different than your competitors, or only if we compare with Amazon, for example. Could you tell me what you want to do with the market?
Yeah, we want to let our customers to buy absolutely anything in one mobile application. So we started with cross-border sales. But if you look at all categories that you buy on a daily basis, this is just what you can buy on a cross-border. It's just a small share of what you buy in total. Normally, people buy on a cross-border because it's cheaper than to buy it locally. Why? Because when you buy it locally, there are at least a couple of distributors in the middle. So there is somebody who basically buys stuff in China, and then he or she wants to have some margin.
Yes.
Normally they have pretty good margins because they put their money at risk. They buy something that might be nobody actually need in the end. So they risk with their money, but they get a margin for that. Then they distribute it to the local country, and again the same thing. So the distributor in the local country wants to make some margins. He takes some risk and so on, and then he sells it on a local marketplace or in a local shop. So we try to cut all those middlemen and connect you directly with either manufacturer or the first distributor in China. And this distributor, he will be sending goods all over the world. So for him, the risks are much lower. As a result, the margin that he's taking is much lower than the margin that is taking local distributor who has a smaller audience, and he risks more in getting a large amount of things. So, but at the same time, if you need towels, then you need it tomorrow. You don't want to wait for 7 or 10 days. And
we love the same day delivery.
Yeah, and we are moving slowly into giving you an opportunity to buy all those other things as well. So we started working with French merchants. Those French merchants, they mainly sell branded items, and they deliver it normally from 1 to 3 days, depending on where you are in France and where their warehouse is located in France. And we want to go next then and let French merchants to sell their products everywhere in Europe. So they can
Okay,
sell
so
it.
you
or
offer
not
a
only
cross-border solution to the
so
French.
right now, no, but that's the next step
Yeah.
we want to take. And on the vice versa, we would like merchants in other countries to sell goods in their own country and to sell those goods on a cross-border as well.
And when do you want to see this feature live?
Oh, so we move step by step. So right now we introduced we onboarded the French merchants, and right now we have 400,000 SKUs or products listed on our products for French customers to buy. We are introducing this service in Russia, and in Russia we are also introducing Fulfilled by Joom warehouses, meaning that the merchants will be able to put their products on our warehouse, and we will be sending it faster.
A French player.
Right now we do
not right now.
So
but
right now we're doing it just for Russian merchants.
Yeah.
But in future, obviously, we will, if this works well and the economy is working well, we will give the same service to merchants in other countries.
And you told me that's really clear. Thank you for sharing that with us. You also told me France as your first market in Europe.
Yeah, so Europe is our number one market in the world, and France is the number one market in Europe.
Yes. Why?
It's hard to tell. Well, first of all, if you look just in terms of population,
but Germany is bigger than France.
Yeah, Germany is bigger, but just a little bit. We are very strong in fashion, and French people love fashion, and we see that the proportion of fashion sales in France, for example, is larger than that in Germany. Maybe that's a reason. But it's it's hard to understand all the underlying reasons. Maybe something with competition. Maybe the competition in Germany is stronger. It's hard to tell, but it is what it is.
Yeah, of course. And in terms of acquisition, how do you recruit new clients in France? Do you have a specific campaigns, or what kind of channel do you use?
Yeah, we are. Well, first of all, we are a mobile marketplace. 95% of all the transactions are happening on the mobile devices. And the way we do it, we do Facebook, Google, and other mobile advertising campaigns. By that, we recruit customers and then try to retain those customers. We'll convert them into the first purchase, and then we try to retain them as loyal customers.
And the repeat business is good?
Yes. More than 50% of customers who make a first purchase return to us to make a second purchase. One of the reasons why we are able to do it, it's for several things. Well, first of all, is our logistics. We really invest a lot in our logistics, and if you look at the international marketplaces, well, there is a Sianyao that is basically providing B2C logistics to Alibaba group of companies, and then Joom Logistics, and then there is not much else. Many other players, they use so-called offline channels where they tell merchant, okay, you can send it whatever you want, use whatever channel you want. We wanted to control everything that is happening on the logistical side, so that's why we built Joom Logistics. And actually, we think that starting from the next year, we will start offering Joom Logistics services to other companies that are doing cross-border trade in a B2C. I don't think that we will be moving into the B2B, but if you want to send something to the direct consumer, either from China or Europe or Turkey, so we will try to help you.
Thank you very much for sharing all these points with us, Ilya. That's really interesting to see the way you want to be a big player in Europe and especially in France. Thank you again for that. That was really a pleasure to be with you on this podcast. Thank you to all of you who are listening the Digital Doers. You are more and more day after day, so thanks again. If you like this podcast, please not at 5 stars on Apple Podcast, and that's the best way to do the promotion of it. And if you want to contact me, please go on thedigitaldoers.com. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks for this opportunity. Bye-bye.
Bye.